Hey, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Uncut with the Lowes. We are excited, a little bit nervous.
Not nervous.
We're gonna have a great time today because I think I need you to be a little patient because we might have to pull out the boxing gloves today because we're gonna go
It's event session.
Yeah, I think it's event session, but nevertheless, we're gonna talk about each other's pet peeves, and really what we wanna do is build community with you. We want you to know who we are. We are real people. And then really working through our challenges of marriage and being successful and loving for one another. But let's just jump into it. Brittany.
I get to start. Pet peeves, things that Jarrell does
What
that just
you?
drive me insane. I've got a laundry list, but if I've got to put it down to 3 things, first and foremost, he is always in my kitchen, more so always in my fridge. And I say my because it is my kitchen and it is my fridge. So
territory.
I run the kitchen. When somebody doesn't cook any meals, I run the kitchen. And also, I choose to cook all of the meals because I think we talked about in the first one, Jarrell can't cook. He can't cook top ramen.
That's
so
a perception, but we're not going to.
No, I have friends and family that will vouch for that. But yes, first and foremost is always in my kitchen, always in my fridge. I know he's a grazer, but if I'm midway through making a meal, I'd say that's one of the biggest things that irk me and I'll just look at it, get out of my kitchen,
You know what's funny about that, and I have to be transparent, is sometimes I'll just do it to irk her. So sometimes
Yeah, I know.
Brittany peeks her head out of a hole if she hears the refrigerator open up. So sometimes I don't need
Getting into something.
I'll just open the refrigerator just to see her head peek out, and then I'll close the refrigerator to give myself a giggle because I just think it's funny. But there is sometimes, I am a grazer, what can I say? I like to walk through, grab a chip and some salsa, or get a nice scoop of the cookie dough and keep it pushing.
Second, the moment we get home, I'm type A. I'm organized, I have systems, and the house has to feel like that for me to be productive, right? Or not to be productive. I just want it to be a certain way. The moment we walk through the door, any given day, Jarrell's backpack is on the floor, his shoes are over there, his shirt, his button-down shirt is over there, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me. The shirt goes in the drawer, or in the, if you're hanging it, the backpack goes over there, and your shoes are right there. Always leaving things everywhere. Lunch pail, AirPods, phones, and then he'll sit down and he'll say, oh crap, where did I put this? Or doesn't even know where anything is.
I think we need to understand why, because Brittany's idea of organization.
Whoa! we're just talking about you right now,
Okay,
boo. This is not on me yet. You can talk about me later. So that's the second thing. Always leaving something everywhere. I'd say the third thing, and you probably know this by now. Bless his heart, but the man goes on a tangent sometimes. He can talk water to a whale, and so he just goes. And I'm get to the point.
I got something to say.
Yes, but I have something to say too, just like now. But I'm just get to the point and be direct. He just wants to go, and sometimes it's just like, man, are you tired of talking? Shoot, love you, but I'm tired of listening sometimes.
Art of storytelling. I gotta preface this.
We don't need to know all that. Just get to the point. Get to the point. So
Lord.
those are my 3 things.
That's
but
it?
Go ahead. You can have the floor. This is all you.
That's it?
That's it. I've got 27 more to go, but since we're trying to keep this,
Well, let me tell you a tale about Brittany, right? The girl is extra as hell. Super
I'm extra.
And when we're talking about her great example is she likes organization. Well, her idea of organization is just bundling all the papers together. My idea of organization is
the papers everywhere.
This pile is for business, this pile is bills, this pile is personal. So I like to categorize things, right? And Brittany will come through and clean up behind me, which I'm so grateful for. But her cleaning up is like, dude, I can't even find my darn ring this morning. Where's my ring? I'm a creature of habit. So I tend to put things in places where I know I left them.
All over the house.
Go in a certain place. My ring goes in a certain place. It has an assignment. And those assignments probably drive Brittany crazy. Number 2, I hope I can get a good night's sleep tonight, but I'm just gonna share this. I am sick of these plants. At first, it was great. I loved it, and those were her babies. But now I'm waking up at 7 a.m. with one of these fiddly figs. What are these things called?
Fiddlies.
Just ruffling my nose in the morning. I'm like, dude, I'm sick of this. I'm almost being kicked out of the bed because these plants need to have their space. They need to be aerated, and they need to be sprayed with bottles. I'm about tired of these darn things.
Well, I will say, I love my plants, but with every vinyl that he gets, I get a plant. I mean, you get a vinyl, I get a plant.
That just compensates.
It's simple. It's simple. But go ahead. What's your last one?
My last one. I don't want to. I
Just
think
get to the point. Do you guys see what I'm talking about?
super extra. These darn plants and her idea of organization just does not fit. Does not fit the bill, and that's where.
No. See, I disagree with that one. Not organization, because it helps him. I think the third one is meals that I cook. We eat clean.
We eat the food that your food eats, if that makes sense, right? Sometimes you just want a burger, and Brittany will cut up a cucumber and put some sauce on it and say, here you go.
No.
I'm like, girl,
I'll
look,
make a veggie burger.
Do you see this? I need beef, I need chicken, I need something. But we eat the food that your food eats. So
Whatever.
that absolutely does.
So
I
not
do
true.
have to admit, yes, that drives me a little insane.
I brought that up because I know it's his pet peeve, but he also loves it.
I do.
But it's his pet peeve, and I know it is.
It's one of those things that you just come to accept. But instead of, we don't want to pick this battle and go on.
Because we could do this all day.
We can go complaining all night about this, but really how we endure the uniqueness of each other and understanding, building on communication, wanting to see the best for each other. We really have come to grips or grasp the understanding of love languages, right?
And how to use them.
It was a book I read a long time ago by Emerson Eggridge, and he said, sometimes, let me try to count.
Yeah,
I'm
get to the
stumbling
point.
because in the back of my mind, she's saying, here you go on a tangent again. But what I'm trying to preface is the understanding of love languages and how powerful they can be in a relationship. And Emerson goes on, he goes on breaking down saying, men need support to give love. Women need love to give support. And sometimes when I'm saying something in my megaphone, Brittany's not capturing it in her headphones. And sometimes I have to tailor my message in such a way to understand what Brittany's love languages are. And
Vice versa.
And vice versa. So for us, right, it does take a little bit of sacrifice. It takes a little bit of patience, but it's also understanding what your partner needs. When we're in those moments of pet peeves, if we wanted to be emotionally attached to those moments, it can escalate to an argument. But we decide not to let the emotion attach, and how we breach this is, okay, Brittany's cooking this darn air-fried, grass-fed something, and it's served over rocks with ice on rocks, right? Like, I'm about sick of this. Instead of getting emotional, I have to condition myself to understand Brittany's love languages and how can I communicate through that, right? Brittany's love languages is she definitely likes quality time. I mean, am I wrong? And understanding quality time.
It doesn't matter what it is. We can be going to Target together, go golfing together.
Men,
I just want to spend.
Go to Target. Don't do it.
I just want to spend time. That's my love language. And I think yours. Well, his is random acts of, service.
Yeah.
And so his is a fun and an interesting one, I'd say. A lot of people, I think there's our, physical touch, quality time is super common, and I think gift giving, but I forget the context of it.
I think that, if you get a chance and you're not familiar with love languages, it's the 5 love languages. Go visit it. There's even a free quiz online that you can do to assess yourself and your partner. Now, is it 100% true? No, but it'll give you a great foundation of where to start and start to have those exploration conversations, right? Because I think it's important to know self first before you go into that phase of how do I help or build a helpmate or empower my wife. When I know Brittany's love language is quality time, she doesn't want to just cook dinner by herself, nor does she need me in the kitchen.
No,
but what makes
I don't.
that dinner preparation great is if I'm able to have a conversation with her with no distractions. And that fills her. And vice versa for me, it's acts of service. Like, Brittany does an amazing job, right? Sometimes I'll have a tough day or I'll come home from a long day and, okay, I'm probably telling a little bit about myself and how crazy I am, but it's just something that's soothing about seeing vacuum lines in a carpet. And for me, when Brittany vacuums the house, I just feel like, dude, I'm loved. I'm coming home to a castle that is amazing.
That's it, ladies. Just vacuum lines.
Girl,
there you go.
Now, if you need us to, we'll do an extra uncut, and I'll explain to you the vacuum
How to do them
lines.
properly.
You need to make sure the vacuum lines.
Okay, come on.
are
Get to the
crisp.
point. Get to the point.
But
Come on.
I say all that to say we do have pet peeves as humans. We do have flaws, but when we're together, that's when we're powerful. That's when we're inseparable, and we're just steadily working to grow. And part of that, I think it was a few months ago, we referenced that 99%, and we enjoy each other. We enjoy each other and are around each other all those times. But that 0.01%, those pet peeves, understand how to communicate through it and what your partner needs in that moment.
And I will say this, we don't use these to say, oh, is this to alleviate arguments? Arguments happen all the time. Arguments happen before we're filming right now because that's who we are and that's what we do. Somebody's getting irritated with somebody and that's okay, but it's going back to how are we bettering each other? How are we bettering ourselves and our marriage? So if we know that, okay, if he deciphers being loved a certain way, but my love language is different, how I love him, he's not correlating that. I don't want to say he's not correlating it as love, but it's not his love language. And so that's why it's so important, just to, one, communicate right off bat, but two, know what each other's love languages are. You also have to know yourself so then you can know how to love yourself and then love somebody else. Because here's the other thing, if you can't love yourself, you're gonna struggle loving somebody else.
Absolutely, and I want to say this and end it on this because this is for us it's very powerful. Well, for one, I don't think they believe we have arguments, so I want to have one now real quick.
We have arguments.
Show you guys, this is serious. Like,
we
it gets real.
We have
But
arguments.
all jokes aside, and I really want to speak to the men real quick because it's something that we need to understand when we are in relationships or whatever we're doing with our spouse. I am a firm believer that our first responsibility is the leadership of family. And I'm not saying that Brittany needs to stand behind me and I lead. What I have to understand about leadership is how do I empower her to be the best that she can be. And for a lot of us, you hear these cliches out in the world, and I'm a firm believer, like, whatever, I don't believe in them, but some of them make sense. And one of those cliches you always hear is, the grass is greener on the other side. I call BS. I absolutely call BS because it's gonna be greener anywhere where you decide to water it the most. And if this is what I'm spending 99% of my day with, I need to be pouring in and filling Brittany and giving her the utmost so she feels amazing. I want her to know she's the best, that she is strong, she's a strong woman, a strong lady. And this is what makes the family unit so perfect, is when we're able to water what we have in front of us, and when we sit still in what we have, whether it's the good times or bad, then the grass will start to grow up under our feet. Then that opportunity will come. As we've shared, we've had those challenges, but now we have an understanding of how do we want our performance to look, how do we work in preparation, and when we're in the heat of the moment, how do we separate from those actions or behaviors?
And I just want to end on this too, from a wife and a female standpoint, is, I think, again, we talked about this before, but for the female, you have to know your role in the marriage and also in the business. And for some that may seem very scary, and it may seem something that, I don't want to do that. I'm not ready for that. But when you really dive deep into, he knows his role and I know my role, he knows what he brings to the table and I know what I bring to the table, you will flourish. hands down.
Hands down.
You
And
know,
that's
so
not to say that there might not be days I'm not feeling it and Brittany needs to pick up the load.
It's
or there
life.
might not
It's
be days
everybody.
that Brittany's feeling
Yeah.
it and she needs to pick up the load. But I think role identification is important.
Huge.
Understanding your partner is important. The pet peeves are always going to be pet peeves because we're built
Yep.
differently. But the importance is the important piece that we want you to grasp. Understand how to communicate. Understand your partner's love language, and how do you effectively get that message across. And then, do you genuinely want the best for them? My goal is to see her better today than she was yesterday.
And vice versa.
And vice versa, she wants that. So when we're in this competition phase of making each other better, guess what happens to the marriage? It's just growing and growing, and that beanstalk is going to be out of this world one day. So with those pet peeves, what pet peeves do you have? If you got plants that are in your face in the morning, or there's an alarm on the refrigerator, trust me, you're not alone in this. As vice versa, I'm pretty sure there's some more that Brittany would like to.
but it's okay.
divulge.
We're growing, we're getting better together, and we're happy that you're on this journey with us. So thanks again.
Appreciate you.